A small Saskatchewan town is rallying around a family who is set to be deported soon after Canada Day. The family of four has been living in Moosomin for several years as their refugee claim has dragged on. Now their appeals are exhausted and the family is being told they will be sent back to Honduras in a few weeks. The CBC's Stefani Langenegger is looking into this story. She joins me now in studio. Stefani, the clock is ticking for this family. Tell us more about them.
Well, Victor Santos, his wife, and their two children have been living in Moosomin, as you say, for the past few years. Victor and his wife both have jobs there. Their boys both go to school. The littlest one is in kindergarten. But now they're set to be deported when the boys wrap up school, back to a country they haven't seen in nearly a decade. Victor Santos says he was selling produce in the market when he saw the murder of a journalist in Honduras. He says he then began getting death threats of his own. He was run off the road by a truck and hospitalized, and he decided to get out of there. He went first to the United States, then to Canada, where he claimed refugee status, and that was denied. He appealed, and as you mentioned, the process has been dragging out ever since, some 7 years on. Now, though, it appears to be coming close to the end of the line with a deportation order set for July 5th. And Victor is worried, Jill, about what will happen if he is made to return to Honduras.
Oh, it's like, I don't know if you're going to live for a couple of days or there right there, because everything is corruption and police and everything is involved in those things. And my problem is very, very hard right there.
Wow, Stefani, we're hearing Victor Santos there say he's afraid he'll be killed if he returns to Honduras. So why then would he not qualify as a refugee here in Canada?
So the documents say that he was denied for insufficient proof, that he hadn't properly proven that his life was at risk. And he says between legal aid and his own poor English back in 2011, he probably didn't make the case well enough at first. It's hard to get police reports from Honduras when you're not there anymore. And since it was denied, now it continues to be denied on appeal because officials say that Victor hasn't added any new claims to his initial refugee claim. What has happened since then, though, Jill, is that the town of Moosomin has embraced this family. They want the family to stay. There's been a letter writing campaign, including to Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale. Nearly 1,000 people have signed a petition asking for them to stay here.
Sounds like this family is really beloved by their small Saskatchewan community. So is there any hope if the government won't help?
Well, the last help is a separate application to the government on humanitarian and compassionate grounds, this time focused more on 5-year-old Edward, not so much on his dad, Victor. Edward was born here, he's a Canadian citizen, and he has some health issues. And the family says Canada has a much better medical system than Honduras, so they're appealing for Edward to stay here. Now, he wouldn't actually be deported, Jill, because he's Canadian, but as he's 5 years old, his parents would take him with them if they were. So while this application that mentions Edward is being considered, they are hoping that Ralph Goodale will give them a stay on their deportation. Otherwise, they have been told just yesterday to get to the airport on July the 5th.
Thanks, Stefani.
You're welcome.